Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast DeMint County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy and stay warm on these next couple of frigid days. I'm ready in my Crystal City hoodie. Library Connections number 39, hosted by SSCL librarian Linda Reimer. This is the Friday, January 29th, 2021 edition of Library Connections. Kicking things off as usual with the top 5 fiction bestsellers of the week from the New York Times. At number 1, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, the first book in the Bridgerton series. Daphne Bridgerton's reputation soars when she colludes with the Duke of Hastings, the basis of the Netflix series Bridgerton. At number 2, Before She Disappeared by Lisa Gardner. A recovering alcoholic puts herself in danger when she searches for a Haitian teenager in a Boston neighborhood. At number 3, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. The lives of twin sisters who run away from a Southern Black community at age 16 diverge as one returns and the other takes on a different racial identity, but their fates intertwine. At number 4, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Nora Seed finds a library beyond the edge of the universe that contains books with multiple possibilities of the lives one could have lived. And at number 5, The Invisible Life of Adie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. A Faustian bargain comes with a curse that affects the adventure Adie LaRue has across centuries. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers of the week. At number 1, A Promised Land by Barack Obama. In the first volume of his presidential memoirs, Barack Obama offers personal reflections on his formative years and pivotal moments through his first term. At number 2, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. The Academy Award-winning actor shares snippets from the diaries he kept over the last 35 years. At number 3, Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. The Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist examines aspects of caste systems across civilizations and reveals a rigid hierarchy in America today. At number 4, Untamed by Glennon Doyle. The activist and public speaker describes her journey of listening to her inner voice. And at number 5, On Tyranny by Timothy Schneider. 20 lessons from the 20th century about the course of tyranny. Moving right along to our first recommended read of the week. This is a new novel, a debut novel by Victoria Gosling. It's called Before the Ruins. British author Gosling's stellar debut focuses on 4 childhood friends: Andy, the bold ringleader, her boyfriend Marcus, her best friend Peter, and the creative and enterprising M. In the summer of 1996, the 4, all in their late teens, decide to experience the apocalypse that Andy's alcoholic mother believes will happen on June 20th at an abandoned manor house in the Wiltshire countryside. The house was once the scene of a suspicious death and the theft of a priceless diamond necklace in 1936. When they arrive at the manor that day, There's no apocalypse, but they do encounter a stranger, David, in the drive. He knows the new owners, a wealthy family waiting to remodel it. David, flirtatious and a bit older than the others, is immediately drawn to Andy and to Peter, creating tension between the two friends. In the days that follow, M finds a suitable, cheap facsimile of the stolen necklace in a thrift shop, and the friends take turns hiding the fake necklace, which the others must find. Some romantic drama ensues, and in the autumn, they all go their separate ways. More than 20 years later, Andy and Peter meet on occasion, but avoid talking about what happened at the manor. And then Peter disappears, and Andy resolves to find him. The gorgeous poetic prose perfectly complements the suspenseful plot. Gosling is off to a terrific start, and that is the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Our second recommended read for this week is also a mystery. It's called Deep into the Dark, written by P.J. Tracy. Sam Easton is a veteran who lost his buddies to an IED explosion in Afghanistan. With burns and scars on half his face, he stands out, and his spirit is broken. His wife Yuki left him 3 months earlier, and he's a bar back at the Pearl Club, where Melody Traeger is a bartender. When Ryan, a customer that Melody's been seeing, hits her, Sam offers her a place to stay. Neither of them has reliable alibis when LAPD detective Margaret Nolan shows up with her partner after Ryan is killed. When another murder occurs, Sam and Melody seek refuge, but their safe harbor becomes a house of terror, and they must draw on their own resources to survive. Verdict: the author of the award-winning Monkey Wrench novels launches a new LA-based series with an intense, unforgettable novel that focuses on the predators and the prey that thrive in the city. The intricately plotted story handles Easton's PTSD with compassion while also revealing his disturbing torment. 3 complex characters, Sam, Melody, and Detective Nolan, are introduced in a gripping story for thriller fans. And that is the Library Journal review, and sorry for the notifications noise from my phone. I will now turn the volume off on that so it doesn't happen again. And we'll move on here. And moving on to our first audiobook recommendation of the week, I'm going to recommend an oldie but a goodie. It's called Outlander. It's the first novel in the series written by Diana Gabaldon and read by Davina Porter. And I'm going to recommend this week because it is now, for the first time, available in the digital catalog. And if you have a Corning library card, you can also check this out instantly from the Hoopla catalog. So having said that, let me tell you a little about the book if you're not familiar with it. And if you are, a little refresher maybe, since it's been a number of years since this came out. I think it's almost 30 now. So enough digressing about the book. Absorbing and heartwarming, this first novel lavishly evokes the land and lore of Scotland, quickening both with realistic characters and a feisty, likable heroine. English nurse Claire Beecham Randall and her husband Frank take a second honeymoon in the Scottish Highlands in 1945. When Claire walks through a cleft stone in an ancient henge, she's somehow transported to 1743. She encounters Frank's evil ancestor, British Captain Jonathan Blackjack Randall and is adopted by another clan. Claire nurses young soldier James Fraser, a gallant, merry redhead, and the two begin a romance, seeing each other through many perilous, swashbuckling adventures involving blackjack. Scenes of the Scottish Highlanders' daily life blend poignant emotions with Scottish wit and humor. Eventually, Sassenach Claire finds a chance to return to 1945 and must choose between distant memories of Frank and her happy, uncomplicated existence with Jamie. Claire's resourcefulness and intelligent sensitivity make the love conquers all, happily ever after ending seem a just reward. Turning from historical fiction to fantasy for our second audiobook recommendation this week, I'm going to recommend the novel We Could Be Heroes, written by Michael Chen and read by Emily Wu Zeller. An extraordinary and emotional adventure about unlikely friends and the power of choosing who you want to be. Jamie woke up in an empty apartment with no memory and only a few clues to his identity. But with the ability to read and erase other people's memories, a power he uses to hold up banks, to buy coffee, cat food, and books. Zoe is also searching for her past and using her abilities of speed and strength to deliver fast food. And she'll occasionally put on a cool suit and beat up bad guys if she feels like it. When the arch rivals meet in a memory loss support group, they realize the only way to reveal their hidden pasts just might be through each other. As they uncover an ongoing threat, suddenly, much more is at stake than their fragile friendship. With countless people at risk, Zoe and Jamie will have to recognize that sometimes being a hero starts with trusting someone else and yourself. And that sounds like a really cool listen, but I think I may read the book. Moving on to our first streaming recommendation, I'm going to recommend the TV series Borgen, which was first on from 2010 to 2013, and it's now available through Netflix. The Danish political drama Borgen became a favorite of TV fans around the world back in the days when foreign language shows were often available only on hard-to-find DVDs or marginal cable channels. Now, Netflix is making the series more widely available with a new English dub. That should help a larger audience discover this riveting fictional story about Denmark's first woman prime minister and how she struggles to maintain both her ideals and her optimism. Our critic wrote, "It is remarkable how much suspense and psychological drama the show squeezes out of cabinet shuffles and healthcare reform bills in a small Scandinavian nation." The critic also notes, and this is a New York Times critic, that for an equally addicting political thriller about a different era and country, stream Babylon Berlin, also available through Netflix. And that specific review is by Jason Bailey of the New York Times. Our second streaming recommendation for this week is a mystery series. It's called Miss Scarlet and the Duke, and it is coming out one episode per week now through PBS and PBS Passport. Kate Phillips stars in a 6-part mystery as the headstrong, first ever female detective in Victorian London. Stuart Martin plays her childhood friend, professional colleague, and potential love interest, Scotland Yard Detective Inspector William Wellington, aka the Duke. And that is the PBS overview. And if you like PBS mysteries and empowering historical fiction for females, check this series out. And our third and final streaming recommendation for this week is another oldie but a goodie. It's the film Romancing the Stone, which came out in 1984 and is available now through Amazon Prime Video. The stunning success of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was released in 1981, prompted no shortage of riffs and rip-offs. And there's a reason most of those titles have been consigned to the dustbin of history. But that wave of globe-trotting swashbucklers also begat this giddily entertaining hit from the director Robert Zemeckis, in which a city-bound romance novelist, Kathleen Turner, follows her kidnapped sister into the jungles of Colombia with the help of a roguish but charming mercenary, Michael Douglas. The film made movie stars out of Turner and Douglas, who was also a producer, and for good reason. They've got love-hate chemistry to burn, and their zany yet grounded performances somehow make this silly story fly. Turner, Douglas, and their co-star Danny DeVito teamed up again 2 years later for the sequel, The Jewel of the Nile. That film too is now available on Prime, and that is the New York Times review. And finally, our Hoopla recommendation for this week. This week it's a streaming video. It's the movie First Lady from 2020. First Lady is a romantic comedy about a woman not married to the president who runs for the office of First Lady. This modern fairy tale is about two people who reunite later in life to find their happily ever after. And the film stars Nancy Stafford and Corbin Burnson. And if you're above a certain age, this will be a terrific romantic comedy. Of course, romantic comedies are good for everybody, but I think this one is empowering for people above a certain age, which of course includes yours truly. And on to our Odd Duck recommendation of the week. And this week I'm going to recommend a really cool combo mystery and science podcast. It's called The Curious Cases of RutherfordFrye, and it's a podcast from the BBC. This is available for free online. You can simply Google RutherfordFrye podcast, and you should be presented with the appropriate link at the top of your search results. And this podcast has two doctors, Adam Rutherford and Hannah Fry, who they describe as being science sleuths, who investigate everyday mysteries sent by listeners. So for example, the episode you see there, which is the newest one as of today, it's called The Flying Clock and the Stopped Watch. And the little summary there says, do individuals perceive time differently? Ask Joe from North Yorkshire. So if you want to know about time, that's a good episode to check out. As you might have expected, there is indeed a subscription link for this. You should find this in the native podcast app on your mobile device. So if you want to subscribe to it and be notified when new episodes are available so that you can easily access them and listen to them, you can do that. And just a few more of the neat episodes of The Curious Cases of RutherfordFrye that have some really fun topics and that you might like to check out. There's an episode titled The Noises That Make Us Cringe. Why do some people find noises, like a fork scraping a plate, so terrible? Another episode is titled The Pizza Diet. Can I make a pizza that contains my recommended daily intake of everything? Asked Paul. I'm sort of dubious about that, but I will have to listen to that episode and find out. The Martian Mission. What would it take for humans to live permanently on Mars? Asked listener Martin. And the growling stomach. Why do our tummies rumble? And when they do, does it always mean we are hungry? So that gives you a good idea of the fun series of podcast episodes for the Curious Cases of Rutherford and Frye. Check it out. Have questions about this weekly videocast? Let me know. Send an email to me at reimerl@stls.org and I'll get back to you. Again, that's reimerl@stls.org. And of course, you can always call the library too if you have questions. This week, the library is closed to the public. You can still get curbside pickup. You can make an appointment for that through our website or by calling the library. But we will again be open to the public starting Monday, February 1st, and our hours will be what they were previously. On Mondays and Fridays, we'll be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays, we'll be open 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we'll be closed on Wednesdays and Sundays. And that is the end of Library Connections for this week. What follows are a few informational tidbits. The tidbits include directions as to where you can connect with the library online via our website, catalogs, blogs, and social media pages, links to articles used to create this week's video, otherwise known as references, and the library's contact information. The library's website found at ssclibrary.org. There's a whole host of information about the library, library materials, and services available through our website. The library's appointments page found on any page of the library's website. Just look for the purple text that says Make an Appointment, which is located near the top of each page on our website. If you click or tap that link, you will be able to schedule an appointment to use a computer or for curbside pickup. This is Starcat and the Bookmine app. Starcat is the catalog of physical library materials, print books, DVDs, music CDs, and Bookmine is the companion app, which is available for mobile devices. The digital catalog, along with its companion apps Libby and Overdrive. The digital catalog is found at stls.overdrive.com. You can check out eBooks and downloadable audiobooks, and you can even send eBooks to your dedicated ebook reader if you have one. And the difference between the apps you see at the right is that Libby is for newer devices, and Overdrive is for older devices and Kindle tablets. Hoopla! The Hoopla catalog features ebooks, comic books, downloadable audiobooks, and streaming videos, including both TV shows and movies. All Hoopla items are available for Southeast Steuben County Library card holders for instant checkout. And yes, you heard that right. If you see an item in the Hoopla catalog, you can instantly check it out. There is a limit of 6 items that can be checked out per month simply because the library has to pay for each item that is checked out. This is what they call in library land a cost per circ model. Hoopla can be accessed through a web browser, and there's an app for mobile devices and smart TVs, which you see on the right. The library blogs, we have 5 of them. We have the Book Club for Adults, which is what it sounds like. It's the monthly book club for adults as compared to kids or young adults. It is not a racy book club, but you can find out information about our monthly meetings at SSCLbook.club. The local history blog, Corning NY History, which features photos from the library's local history archive, found at corningnyhistory.com. Creation Stationery, the companion blog to the library's makerspace, found at creationstationery.com. Story Musings, a blog hosted by the library's resident author and head of adult services, Michelle Wells, found at storymusing.blogspot.com. And Tech and Book Talk, hosted by yours truly. It's found at sscltech.com, and I actually have more readers and viewers advisory items on the blog than tech tips, although occasionally I do a posting on the joys of personal technology. If you have questions about library services during the pandemic, or want to make an appointment for curbside pickup, you are welcome to simply go the traditional route and give us a call. The library's telephone number is area code 607-936-3713. Again, that's 607-936-3713. Social media. You can connect with the library, read library news, and post questions to the library via social media. The library has pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. In relation, each video in this series is available on demand via the library's YouTube channel after it has first been shown on Facebook Live. You will also find the videos posted to the Tech Talk blog each Monday. References. Just a few references for this week. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new episode of Library Connections. Stay well and stay warm. And just a brief view of my helper. You may have noticed in the intro clip that there was a tail that went behind me. There is a cat attached to the tail, and here's a short video clip showing the full cat. And just in case anyone would like to see, here's my helper behind me. Oh, now he's going to take a break.